Alright, welcome Algebra 1A folks. This is a video covering the practice test for topic 2 on exponents. This is version 1 of the practice test. This video we're going to try to cover numbers 1 through 9. So our instructions on 1 through 9 says for number 1 through 9 we're going to write each number in expanded form, then evaluate. So number 1, my exponential form, I have a base of -6 and an exponent of -3. So if that was a positive 3, I would do 1 times -6 times -6 times -6. That's if it was a positive 3, though. If the exponent was a positive 3. I don't have a positive 3, I have a -3. So instead of using the base of -6 and multiplying 3 times, I can do a couple of things. One option with the negative exponent is I could divide instead of multiply, but this is going to be difficult to evaluate without a calculator. So the other option besides dividing, negative exponent divide, the other thing I can do with the negative exponent is multiply by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal is 1 over -6. I can multiply by the reciprocal 3 times. This I can evaluate. So you might not even write down the first part if you don't want to on your test, but this I can evaluate. I can multiply all those ones on the top, gives me a 1, and then let's see, -6 times -6, maybe I'll do some scratch work over here. If I do -6 times -6, that's a positive 36, and then a positive 36 times a -6, whoops, times a negative, not subtraction. I believe that is 216. Let's see, that'd be 36 carry a 3, that's 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3, yeah, 216, and it'd be a negative 216. So that would be if we evaluate it. So yeah, if you want to skip the division here, I find the division helpful in scientific notation, but for just regular base exponents, I find the negative exponent to use the reciprocal, multiply with the reciprocal, and I'll write that out. Okay, so that got a little squeezed there, but yeah, with the negative exponent, I'm either going to divide, still starting with a positive 1, divide by that base of -6 3 times, or multiply by the reciprocal 1 over -6. Start with the positive 1, multiply by the reciprocal 3 times. And that's how we're going to evaluate. So yeah, let's try number 2. We have -4 to the power of 0. So first I can start with my positive 1, but then I can say, well, here it's an exponent of 0. So that's it. The idea would be you write down and multiply with the base of 4 0 times. You don't write down the base of 4. You don't multiply with the base of 4. You just start with your positive 1 and you're finished. You're done. That's it. So expanded form, kind of boring there. Deceptively easy, perhaps. Number 3, we have a positive exponent, so this would be repeated multiplication. I can still start with a positive 1, but this time I'm going to write out that base of 2 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4. One more. 5. There we go. And then to multiply that. So again, we had a positive exponent. We can start with a positive 1 and then just multiply with the base. In this case, 5 times. I'm not dividing by the base. I'm not doing a reciprocal. I'm just using the base of 2. So let's see here. 2 times 2 would be 4. Times another 2 would be 8. Times another 2 would be 16, times one more 2, that is 32 for our evaluated or simplified form. Let's keep going here. Number 4, we got 2 to the -4th, so I'm thinking to myself, negative exponent, I'm either going to divide or multiply by the reciprocal. So for me to evaluate, it's easier to do the reciprocal. It's not wrong to say 1 divided by 2 divided by 2, etc. But if you're going to evaluate this, you probably want to use the reciprocal. You probably want to use the fraction instead. So I'll write it out both ways, but I'm going to do the reciprocal. I'm going to multiply with 1 over 2. So again, if you were doing the test, you might just skip writing the division. It's not wrong to do that, but as far as doing the value, doing the calculation, coming out with the value, all those 1s multiplied on the top in the numerator give us 1, and then in the denominator 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, that comes out to 16. So we have 1 over 16. Let's keep going. All right, number 5, we got a positive exponent. So I can start with a positive 1, but then I'm going to write down the base and just multiply with it. So -1 is the base. So notice that I'm still starting with a positive 1 every single time. Start with a positive 1, but now that the base is -1, and an exponent of +6, I can multiply with that -1 6 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all being multiplied. And now I can employ the buddy system. I can say, all right, that positive doesn't need a buddy, but these two negatives, these can be buddies. These two negatives, these can be buddies. These two negatives can be buddies. Every negative's got a buddy. Well, 1 times 1, all those ones is going to be 1. And then all those negatives pairing up, having buddies, we just have positive 1 as our value there. Number 6 is 1. I think it was like number 2, where the 0 exponent means we're gonna start with our positive 1, and that's it. We're gonna be done. Write down your base 0 times. So 4 to the power of 0. Start with the positive 1, and that's it. Don't write down your base of 4. Write down your base of 4 and multiply with it 0 times. Don't do that. You just write the positive 1. That's it. So keep that in mind. Was it number 2? Let's go back up real quick. Yeah, number 2, negative base, but exponent of 0, we get a positive 1. Positive base exponent of 0, we get a positive 1. So when that exponent is 0, the whole thing is just 1. Positive 1. Okay, so that's something to remember. Some students will struggle with that. Okay, we got 3 more on this first page. Number 7, all right, don't let the negative base fool you. We have a positive exponent, so I'm going to multiply with the base. All right, start with a positive 1 and then a positive exponent. I can write down and multiply with that base 3 times. So a negative 2 once, negative 2 twice, negative 2 3 times. Let's see, evaluating this, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then these negatives can be buddies, and then this negative needs a buddy. So we'll put a negative on that answer. So negative 2 to the 3rd power, the value is negative 8. All right, 2 more. 0 to the 4th power. Well, I can still start with a positive 1 here, but then with a positive exponent, it's just like number 7. I'm gonna multiply by that base. So the base is 0. I'm going to multiply with a 0 4 times. 1, 2, that's supposed to be a 0. Let's rewrite that. That's a little bit better. But the base is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And now I'm multiplying. Well, multiplying with all these zeros is just going to give me 0. All right, 1 more here. So this last one, we've got a negative exponent. So what does that tell me to do? Negative exponent, I can either divide or I can multiply by the reciprocal. And again, I'm going to skip here just entirely doing the division. I'm going to skip doing the division because I know if I'm going to evaluate this, it's going to be easier to use the reciprocal. So 1 over negative 7 twice. Exponent's negative 2. I'm going to do the reciprocal 2 times. So 1 times 1 up top is a 1, and negative 7 times negative 7, well, those are buddies. 7 times 7 is 49, and this will be a positive 49. So you get 1 over 49, and that's it. So yeah, so get lots and lots of practice with that, and just, I would start with the exponent most of the time. If it's a positive exponent, you're going to multiply by the base. Negative exponent, you're going to divide by the base. Exponent of 0, that's the easy one in my opinion. Exponent of 0, write down a 1 and you're finished. Write down a positive 1 and you're done, even with the negative base. Okay. So hope this one helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.